we're back in the Land Rover and it's an interior job today, moving or removing the official Land Rover steering wheel. This is 2016 Land Rover Puma, and replacing it with a Moto-Lita steering wheel. I'm going to change the boss as well, so I've got an Optamil, one of their quick release bosses, to be able to quickly release the steering wheel off of the boss itself, so that for extra security basically. So I've got my components here and a socket set down there as well. Let's give it a go. First things first is I've driven the Landy back on the drive, and I've made sure my steering wheel is completely straight. If it's not straight, I just put the keys back in, fire the engine up, or just turn them so I can unlock the steering lock. Luckily it's actually locked pretty much straight there, which is handy, but it's got to be straight. And then I'm going to remove this, which is a pretty useless piece of kit. Someone was telling me that Land Rover installed this as a safe. There's no airbags in this car, and someone was telling me that Land Rover installed this as a safety measure, so that if you crashed, you would hit it, and it would be a softer impact or something like that. But to me, it's pretty damn hard. So yeah, we'll leave that there. Let's have a look. 22. It's 22. This might be really quite well seized on. I do not know. Oh, there we go. That was pretty well. Now I'm not going to take this nut totally off, because as I pull on this steering wheel, it might be stiff and it could fly into my face. So I really don't want that, to be honest. So there we go. I've loosened it. Got a bit of play there. So now I can take the nut off. There. And the little star washer. Not in the best of conditions, but now the steering wheel can come off. By old Landy steering wheel. Pop you down there. Just to compare for you guys, this is the 14-inch Moto-Lita. That's how much smaller it is than the main Land Rover wheel, if I put that back on there. So I get a lot more leg room as well down here. It's quite a bit smaller. Well, it's I think these are 16 inches, the official Land Rover ones. I was going to go for a 15-inch Moto-Lita, but I went for a 14 to give me a little bit more wiggle room with my legs. Right, that comes off. Now it's time for the boss. This is a 48 spline, which matches up with the splines on here. This is the 2016 model. There is the 36 spline, is it? The other, there's two options basically for the splines. And Optamil with their removable boss do both options. So there are two pins that I can put into here, cancellation pins, for indication cancellation when you turn the steering wheel and you want your indicator to automatically go off. But I don't need those, I don't think, because the old Land Rover wheel doesn't have it either. Doesn't have a need for the cancellation pins, because it's got these things here on the sides. So I don't need that. I don't think. We'll find out. So now I should be able to just fit this on that way up with the there's three pins. Two of them are closer together, one is slightly further apart, and I have that one that's further apart at the top with the two at the bottom. And then it's all lined up, so there you go. That fit on quite quickly actually, I was quite surprised. I'm going to pop that back on. Little star washer thing. Back goes the central nut. And you have to tighten this up, I think, to 43 Newton meters. So let's. It's got to work its way onto the spline. There we go. That's pretty tight, not going anywhere. Now with the quick release boss part, these pins here in the side go into these holes, and those three metal pins correlate with the three holes on the back of the boss here. So you've got to pull these out. That sits in there, and that's how you quick release the steering wheel. It's all joined to this quick release part. So the boss stays locked on, and this is the quick release part. Next up is the steering wheel. got the Moto-Lita logo just here, so that's over to the right. All this does is sit on there, like so. The next step is this part. I don't need this part. This is for a, I believe, another extension part for a different type of boss for the Moto-Lita. I don't think I'm going to need that part because there's just too many parts together. It will be this bit next, which would be the kind of front cap. There is a boss, the Optamil boss logo, which goes here. So I could actually just have it. There's two ways I could do this. I could have the Optamil boss, which has a rubber O-ring just here, and that will sit snug just in there, like that. Whoops. And then obviously I would put the bolts in all around the edge, and I can have the Optamil logo there. Or if I pull that out, I've actually got just the standard, like, I quite like that. It's just the one that comes with the Moto-Lita steering wheel, and just have that instead. I'm not going to use the black. These again are for a different boss, I think, the length of these bolts. So I'm going to go with the ones that came with the Optamil boss, which are these, and they should just screw straight through into the thread. Just get one in, and they'll hold everything in place. They'll go right through to the back. Yeah, there you go. Up the holes. Don't want to do that one too tight, so can't line these ones up. But I'm just going to get them roughly in. Now we can tighten. Again, not doing them all really tight, just until they pinch to begin with. There's already a thread in the boss that goes through the boss quick release. So I know you'd think the bolt needs to go through it and there needs to be a nut on the end at the back, but there doesn't need to on this particular boss. If you weren't using this boss, then that's where I'd use the black bolts, because they have the nut with them. Or some bolts come with, some bosses, sorry, come with a recess where you put the nuts. This one doesn't. Periodically check these though anyway, just to make sure none are coming loose. Okay, we have a steering wheel. So now, when I want to release the steering wheel, take it off for security reasons, got two quick release clips. The steering comes off, the steering wheel. I can either take this with me, or you can get this like swivel lock, which goes on top of the boss. It's like an orange cap, and it takes a bit of fiddliness, but you get it on, and it's got a lockable key, and you can lock it and take that away. And that way, even if someone still has your steering wheel, they can't get the boss lock off. So that's something I might get down the line, but yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm not obviously ever going to touch these when I'm driving. I don't want the steering wheel coming off, but I can pull that now and it's not going anywhere. So I'm only going to drive up the lane because I just want to test that this is all working, and I don't want to be going on any fast roads and finding out that this doesn't work. So we're just going up the road. I'm actually going to lean out the window, check my wheels move. Yeah, I can see a tyre there. Good. And we'll check the indicator cancellation on the road. Let's go. It feels so much nicer already. We'll go up to the roundabout and turn off to see if the indication cancellation still works. Looks wise though, I love it. It's so much better. It's quite a bit smaller. I'm not used to such a smaller steering wheel, but I've got loads of room now. Indicator on. Let's see if it cancels out as I come back round. There you go. There we go. Defender upgraded steering wheel. Job done.